Or that maybe. My I could do a Bathory song maybe. There's I'll be downtown, so I'll just even though I can't multitask with this shit. I have it in drop D, and that right there. That's the D5 add 9. I really like the add 9 chords. They're like. So anyways, that could be like a Bathory sort of thing. And once when Quorthon switched from black metal to Viking metal, he hadn't quite learned how to sing yet, and so Hammerheart and the second one is called, I think, Twilight of the Gods. Some of the singing is kind of shit, but he has some good songs in there. I like It's super basic. It's just shit. Anyway, I did a cover of that, and that was when I first started playing music again. But anyways, once he learned how to sing, then his music got his Viking metal kind of maybe he should have re-recorded a Hammerheart, because some of those songs are pretty fucking sweet. Under the Runes is pretty. I think it's Under the Runes, but there's that one. It's called Home of Once Brave. Yeah, that's what it's called. That song's fucking sweet. And if you redid the intro, which is called "Song to Haul Up High," I don't really care about Norse mythology, that sort of thing. I'm not really interested in that, and frankly, I don't even really, unless something has like super gay lyrics, like that fucking Ministry guy. Unless it has super gay lyrics, then I don't really have a problem with listening to it, unless it's something that's kind of, they're like talking about like Satan or something like that, or some goofy, some cringe shit like that. I like just the music and the melody. That's basically what I listen to music for. I got one song that's like. Anyways, that's how that goes. But I recorded something yesterday. Some guy said he wanted to see me shredding, although I don't shred. And I hate shred guitar like that Paul Gilbert shit or Michelangelo Badio. He probably is the one, or Yngwie Malmsteen, that sort of thing, where you're just playing a lot of notes. Or you got really complex shit like Rings of Saturn. Terrible. Shredding guitar sucks. It adds nothing to the song. It's just like a look what I can do. It's kind of like I remember my friend's girlfriend. They did this shoot. That sort of look what I can do thing, or I suppose people could say that about me because I do weightlifting, but whatever. But my friend's girlfriend, they showed me this video. She insisted on showing me this video, and he was laying on the ground, prone. Okay, he didn't have his ghillie suit on, but he's laying down prone. She was on top of him, and then the next thing he did was jump up into a crouched position, but he's on both feet. And then she was like on the top of his back, and she was also crouched. And then the next one was him standing. They both jumped together in unison, and he was standing up straight, and she was standing on his shoulders. Wow, you want a fucking trophy? There's lots of couples shit like that on TikTok, and it's fucking cringe. Couples yoga is something else. But anyways, the thing I was talking about yesterday with Chad, he said he went to the gym. There was some guy that he was talking to there, a fucking twink. A twink. And I'm not really the guy to say that people are using too much gear, but if you don't have anything to show for it, what the fuck are you doing, bro? That was my Gen Z thing. That's to make me more I don't know, relatable to Gen Z. You just gotta throw bro in at the end of every sentence. Your sentence can't have more than 6 words in it though, bro. So this guy, he started working out when he was 120 pounds at 5'10". This isn't a real person. This was another figment of my imagination. But 5'10", 120 pounds. So how is it even fucking possible that you managed? How are you even still alive? So that's Auschwitz bodybuilding. End of the war Auschwitz, where everyone was starving. But maybe you can't say that on YouTube. But that's just part of my science fiction novel that I'm writing. But what the fuck? Got up to 130 pounds. These skinny guys, they're so-called hard gainers. I'm pretty sure they just eat like fucking pussies. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's just like, yeah, that they eat garbage, but are they eating 7,000 calories a day? Are they even eating 5,000 calories a day? Anyways, I don't really have too much sympathy for these or I don't really understand it. I gain weight just by looking at sweets. I have the fat gene. And so I don't know exactly what that means. Like maybe that's like you're more sensitive to insulin, or you have more insulin. That's what David Palumbo says. He says if you're a fat, people have more insulin. So I assume they'd also become insulin resistant more easily. I don't know if they would, but generally like bigger people they're bigger because of their diet. But I mean, if someone's naturally more fat, then maybe that's the situation he's talking about. I don't know, but IGF-1 is definitely a thing. IGF-1, I don't know, secretion or the levels in your body and how sensitive you are to them. And an easy way to tell that is just by how big your nose is. Because if you have a big nose, then you probably have big hands and big feet and a big brajol. But maybe not all 4. Yeah, there was this study that Leo Longevity was talking about how they measured, they compared, 1,000 Japanese men, and there was a positive correlation between nose size and penis size. And people are probably like, oh yeah, well, this is what, when you tell these people, they're like, oh yeah, well, it's actually generally the smaller guy that has the huge penis, like whatever. It's like, yeah, sure, there's exceptions, but the exception doesn't disprove the theory or the rule. But whatever, just because if you're like, it's like Shaq. Shaq probably has, there's this story where it's like some guy goes into the bathroom and he's standing in the urinal beside Shaq, and the guy looks over because you're fucking curious probably just from an anthropology or you have a scientific. You have a scientific mind. It's a scientific inquiry, so it's not gay. So you look down, and that's what the guy looks down, and Shaq catches him looking. He's like, yeah, regular. He's like, big guy, regular dick. I don't know how. It's probably still bigger than average because apparently average is like like 5.5 inches. I remember there's this podcast with Boston Lloyd and Leah Longevity. In Boston, this is where I learned this. He says that the average is like, it's like 5 to 5.5 inches in the USA, which would just mean, why isn't it like 5.25? Why wouldn't you just pick that? It's just, well, maybe it makes the guys that are 5 inches, they're like, okay, good. Okay, I'm at least average. But anyways, he was telling Leo that he measured his penis and it was even smaller than the last time he measured it, because apparently there's one of his dick pics on the internet. I haven't seen it. I don't want to see it. But anyways, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Boston Lloyd, he's actually a bigger guy. So that's, this is one of the things is like, just another thing is just because you're bigger. Like, I know there's some people like to like talk about how small their penises are. And I know some guys like that from high school, and they're taller than me. Imagine that, they're over 7 feet tall. But the guys, I have how many friends do I? I have 3 friends like that. Like 3 close friends, not in that sort of sense, but guys I've known for years. And then they'll like, they're not even drunk, they're apart. We'll just be together, and they'll be like, I remember they said like, I have a tiny penis. They have a tiny penises. Well, what are you gonna do? Well, Leo Longevity has some sort of he has the cure, or he's a protocol for you. So, anyways, hard gainers. Anyways, this guy started using steroids when he weighed 130 pounds, and that, I don't know, he's been blasting and cruising for 7 or 8 years, I think. And so he weighed 120 pounds at 28 years old. Holy shit. And apparently my brother says he has worse back acne scarring than I do, which, at least I have fucking lifts to show for it. And, the lifts don't make the fucking scarring go away, but time will. And, but holy shit. Guys like doing, I think my brother said he was doing like squats or deadlifts with 135. It was part of his superset. What the fuck? Apparently the guy's protocol wasn't crazy, although his halotestin dose was pretty high. You do 40 milligrams of halotestin every day with a good brand that I've used. The most halotestin I've used in one day is 105 milligrams, and that fucking works pretty good. Not that I recommend that. That's just what I did. But that worked pretty good. I didn't feel too good. But, what I always do is I take vitamin C and NAC with the oral steroid, because that kind of softens the blow to your liver. And because, on those days I would lose some of my appetite, but I would generally regain it by the next day. Because obviously if you're not going to eat after you have one of these good weightlifting sessions, it's kind of a waste. If you're on like a serious bulk, that is. Not a total waste, but yeah, you want to make sure you get it like it. In my case, I need to get at least 5,000 calories on those sorts of days. And so it's like 600 test, 400 or 300 or 400 Masteron, Trashsteron, fucking terrible. Don't even waste your fucking money. You get no gains out of that. Proviron, that's another thing. Something to do with sex hormone binding globulin. Trash. But, he's got the halotestin. But 40 milligrams of halotestin per day I don't know. I think my brother said he was taking that for a while. That's kind of tough. It's not like the Andreas Munzer death cycle where he was taking apparently like 100 milligrams of D-ball, 100 milligrams of Anadrol, 100 milligrams of halotestin, and like a gram of test, a gram of this, a gram of that. He was doing so much shit. He was taking EPO. So his body, he was like a human erection for his show, but then all of his organs failed at the end of it. He's like, his liver was like, it was like a mothball. It was fucking terrible. It was just full of tumors, his liver. Holy shit, that would be fucking terrible. Multiple organ failure. That's like Nasser Al-Sambadi. He had multiple organ failure too. And I assume that's from, it's partly genetic, but it's also, I think he was still doing a high dose. He took a lot of steroids when he was in his prime. Apparently, like 5 grams of test per week. Apparently, another guy said 13 anadrols, so 650 milligrams of anadrol per day. And another guy says that he would take up. He says that it doesn't count as a cycle until this is just what people apparently heard him say. He says that anything under 10 grams of test is a joke, which is like, holy cow, where do you shoot that? Where do you put all that? Because I think that was in the days before test 400. So he'd have to be shooting 40 cc's of tests per week. And yeah, well, I mean, super fucking jacked. Super fucking jacked. His training's fucking terrible. But yeah. What's more, I guess you could say that it's not really the steroids that carried that, it's the genetics plus the steroids. Because, yeah. But anyways, these fucking guys, they lift little bitch weights. There's some other kid that goes to the gym my brother was talking to, and he uses steroids, and he did like a set of 5 with 315. What the fuck are you doing? You're using steroids and you're going 315? So you're just going to be a little more muscular looking. You're like a twink, but slightly more. You're like a twink plus. In BattleTech where you get the items like PPC plus, AC20 plus, large laser plus. You're twink plus. If you use like a steroid and you're doing these fucking weights. I mean, let's say you listen to this and you do like those are the weights that I do. Hopefully you're not a fucking steroid user. I did that shit back in high school with my average genetics. And I was fucking natural in high school. And yeah, get a little bit of, like, you should at least know what the hell you're doing and stick to it for a while before you use these fucking steroids. This is a fucking dead horse at this point. It's like every other video I'm shitting on these guys that they use fucking steroids. People have messaged me and they're like, oh, what do you recommend for this is what I want to do for a cycle. And they tell me their lifts. I mean, these people are actually like, if you're like somewhat intelligent and you have, I don't know, some self-awareness, then you probably wouldn't even come at me with these questions, and you wouldn't even come out of the closet about steroid use until it's like unquestionable. Like me, for example, when I didn't even come out about using steroids until I had my acne, because then it's like, oh, okay, that'll make sense. Because before that, I remember my dad's friend was like, he's telling my brother, he's like, you got to do it natural like your brother. And by then I was already doing like deadlifts. I was doing 600. I was in the 600s doing sets of 5, and I had traps and whatever. I was getting huge. That was like a couple or a few months into my steroid cycle. And then, eventually when I started getting acne, the guy knew exactly what I was doing. And so anyways, the point is, if you lift bitch weight, don't use fucking steroids. Okay. Holy shit. You gotta those are cheat codes. Okay. You have to, it's like, we're in Goldeneye. Let's say you're playing Goldeneye. Okay. I can't make a RuneScape reference. Otherwise I would. Actually, here's what. No, I can't do that. Strength potions. Nah. Taking 105 milligrams of hail testing is one hell of a strength pot. Okay. But, and you play Goldeneye and you have to do this level on, let's say, 00 Agent or Secret Agent. You have to do it in this time. And then you unlock big head mode. You unlock invincibility. You unlock the golden gun. You unlock this. You unlock that. You unlocked, what's it called? Dark Agent or something. 00 Agent Dark or something like that. That's where it takes like 10 headshots to kill one guard. And so you'd actually have to play the game, get some experience and get some skill. Some, acquire a certain level of dexterity with the controls. The controls in that game are fucking terrible. But that's not the point. Is what you actually have to you have to actually put into a little bit of work before you have access to these sorts of things. But people if you compare to these fucking Zoomers with the availability of steroids and SARMs now, they're not even benching 185 pounds and they're fucking taking SARMs. So anyways, yeah. They're like, they want to turn into Jaws, but they're more like Natalia. And holy shit. And actually, they're more like Boris. Okay. Because they have they have this physique of Boris. And it's like, oh, well, it's kind of like people, I don't know, maybe that's like a joke or a cliche now where it's like people are, in the old days, like 20 years ago, they were like contemplating taking creatine monohydrate or not. And now it's like, that's like part of like a beginner thing. Okay. But now it seems like the beginner thing is just doing an injection of test or maybe even tren. And, well, yeah, why don't you like work out and get a 500-pound squat for this? I'm not recommending this, but let's say you get a 500-pound squat. That way you've actually like, you at least have somewhat probably decent diet. Like you're probably getting enough protein and you actually stuck to a consistent program for a while before you do these fucking sorts of things. Yeah. Apparently there's some kids that they hire a coach too, and then they're too young, like they don't even have a credit card, and so the coach will order their drugs for them. That's like a terribly negligent thing to do. I mean, doctors are kind of doing that with people. They're prescribing people fucking things that are terrible for them. But these coaches, I don't know. I suppose they could feign ignorance on these sorts of things. There's no, I don't know. But anyways, don't do fucking drugs is what I'm saying. Don't do fucking drugs. And I should be doing an injection of testosterone when I say that. But I only do 250 tests a week now. And I'm actually feeling pretty good. My brain's not in the slow lane all the time. It's getting better and better day by day. Well, I'll tell you something. Okay. So, you ever been to Sicily? Well, I haven't been to Sicily, but there's there's an animosity between the northern and southern Italians, and I bought some sea salt recently. That wouldn't have helped. I don't even know if Italians would care about these sorts of things, but the northerners think that the southerners are like lower than them. But anyways, I got some. It's like Memories of Sicilia. Okay, Memories of Sicily, and so I don't know. It said product of Italy, and so apparently it was. I don't know. There's some sort of like sea salt desalinization, or I don't even know how they get the salt out of the sea, but it was near Sicily or something like that. But anyways, what they put in that was because I take sea salt as a supplement now, although I take this one now, Himalayan pink salt. I just take that in the morning, and then I'll take a quarter teaspoon with every liter of liquid that I drink, and so I take it with so it's 1 teaspoon, maybe one to 2 teaspoons with 4 liters of milk. So anyways, sea salt's the one you get because apparently table salt is contaminated with glass, and it also only has sodium and chloride. But while sea salt has like 84 other minerals, even although in trace amounts, but those ones are also going to be useful to you. But this one, the Sicilian sea salt, I don't have any problem with Sicilians, but it had something in it called yellow prussiate of soda. Okay, which is the nice way of saying, which is a nice way of saying, I think it's called ferrocyanide, or sodium ferrocyanide, which is obviously it's combining iron with cyanide. So it has cyanide in it, and that's an anti-caking agent. So even though the salt was still caking together, so I guess they didn't have enough in there. So anyways, thankfully it was only like $4. And now I got this one. And I'm pretty sure that I've been like salt. I've had what's it called? A hyponatremia. I think I've been that way for years because my energy levels improved quite a bit since I started taking salt as a supplement. When I take that in the morning with all my other shit, vitamin C, Anavar. I take Anavar 20 milligrams a day. I take 1 gram of niacin. I take 5 grams of taurine. I take 25 milligrams of zinc picolinate. I take a quarter teaspoon of salt. And what the heck else do I take? I take some creatine monohydrate, 5 grams. Then I drink all that and knock it all down with some distilled water. But anyways, thankfully it was only a $4. I only lost at $4. So there's apparently people there. I was looking at things and it's like, oh, I dumped this salt into my fish tank and all my fish died. The people are like, oh, it's FDA approved, this anti-caking agent, but it's like, oh, okay, so a little bit of poison's okay. This much is no good, but this much is okay. But this much eventually builds up to this much. It's like my dad. He wants like he's fat, and it's like he wants a slice of cake. Okay, and then you're just like, oh, okay, well, I don't even want to do whatever. And he just says, I just want a sliver, and that's what he'd say. So it's a small piece, but the guy how many slivers a day would he have? A whole bunch. That's why I'd say, get enough slivers and eventually have a 2x4. And so it's like the cyanide's in apple seeds, it's in almonds, and people are like, these copers, they're like, those are both terrible for you. They're like, oh, well, you'd have to actually eat this much. You'd have to eat a cup of almonds and you'd have to eat like 20 apples for it to actually harm you. Okay. But just a little bit of cyanide, it's still doing the same damage to your body. Cyanide has the same effect in your body that, fructose has the same effect as cyanide. Alcohol has the same effect as cyanide. They're just in lower dosages. A little bit's okay. No, I wouldn't say that a little bit is healthy. I'd say that a little bit, if you want to indulge yourself once in a while and have like have like a piece of chocolate cake, sure. But don't tell me fucking apples are healthy or almonds are healthy. Almonds fucking blow. They're the worst. Well, I mean, Brazil nuts are pretty bad, but nuts are trash, and almonds are the worst though. They're fucking terrible.